Hi everyone.
Hi everybody.
In today's video we are going to be talking about Essie. Essie Expressie, Original Essie, and Gel Couture. One of our Patreon supporters, Donna, has asked us about the differences between these three lines. So today we are going to compare and talk a bit of in depth about these three different lines. So we are going to be talking about, does the line need a base? I'm going to make a note here.
Like base coat?
Base coat. Brush, color choices, how extensive the line is, formula,
Top coat?
dry time, and wear time. And we'll be also demonstrating on these nails here.
Exactly.
All right, so let's start with the base. Expressie does not need a base coat, so that's no. Original needs a base coat, that's yes, and Gel Couture does not need a base coat. So let's do the first coat of polish, and we're going to start with Essie Expressie, buns up. The first coat I always apply quite thin. Now we're going to be doing, because this way we're going to test how the polish is dry. Smoothie. This is for the original Essie. And the Gel Couture. So the name of the Gel Couture kind of suggests that this is a gel. It's not a gel, it's just nail polish that apparently has a shinier finish, and we'll see about that. Of course, there was a fluffy there. All right, so now you know which ones need a base coat, which ones don't. The next one, we're going to talk about the brush. So Jessie, why am I calling it Jessie? So Essie Expressie has this angled brush. So apparently you're supposed to be able to polish both hands easier, because then you can grab this and polish this one easier, which it doesn't work for me really. And I know a lot of people, this is not very helpful, but the brush is very good. The brush is very good. And it kind of goes with the formula of the polish. Okay, so let's look at the brush in the original Essie. So they've changed the brush. It used to be a very thin brush and round. Now it's a flat paddle brush. But I find some of these brushes are not that consistent with Essie. Some of them are quite thick when you're looking at them from this angle. But overall, it has a good brush. Sometimes I find it's not maybe cut perfectly, but overall this is a huge improvement from the original brush. And now let's look at the Gel Couture. Gel Couture has a interesting, like a twisted brush, and the brushes are really good in this line. You see how flat it is here? So you can get really nice close to the skin. And that twirl in a brush apparently helps the polish not to drip on top of the brush. It kind of flows onto the bristles better. I really don't think that makes a huge difference, but the brush itself is excellent. It has a better cut. And it almost like widens a little bit, no?
Yeah, and the consistency in the cut of those
bristles.
Yeah, the bristles seems to be just far more consistent.
And this one is a kind of a sometimes hit and miss. It's a little bit thicker, as you can see.
Sometimes it's okay, sometimes not so much.
It's a little bit thicker. Okay, so let's put it down as Expressie. Has a good brush. Original has a good brush, and Gel Couture has excellent brush. Color choices. I find Expressie, so I have about 36 Expressie polishes, and they have more funky colors. Is funky still a word?
Last time I checked.
Yeah, they're kind of more different colors. They're more funky.
Funky.
Yeah,
we'll go funky.
Funky. So, out of the original Essie, I have 53 colors. I would say the range is amazing. It's huge. They have every color possible, pretty much. Yeah. Excellent. And the Gel Couture has a very, I would say, traditional colors. There are some interesting colors, not that traditional are not interesting, but there are a lot of good reds. They tend to be a little more on the traditional sides. Yeah, they don't have, they're coming out with more, but not, they don't have a lot of nudes, for example. Their regular line has a lot of nudes. These ones don't have any reds, so they don't have, they have less traditional colors.
There are reds, but they're just not your traditional style reds.
Yes.
Just want to clarify.
Now let's talk about formula. And I'm going to just give you my experience.
You have to write down.
Oh, color choices, yes. So color choices. Let's call this funky. Oh my God. My handwriting on this soft surface is not good after all. The line is huge here.
They have a wide variety.
Wide variety, okay. And this is quite traditional. So let's just put traditional. Now let's talk about formula. The first color that I got from Essie Expressie was air dry, and I was blown away how beautiful it was.
It's a very nice color.
It's a little bit almost very thicky. It's a very creamy, thick formula with amazing coverage. Okay, let's just, I know I'm doing things that I didn't plan, but I'll show you what I mean.
Beautiful coverage.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is. It just goes on very, very nice. And so some of them I found out of the 36 colors that I have are very, very good. And some of them are not that great. So Essie Expressie is supposed to be a very quick drying line. And it's supposed to dry in a minute. So let's see how the second coat covers. So with some colors you get perfect 2-coat coverage. I find some you need like a thicker second coat, but this looks good.
That seems to be like a lot of lines in general where you have certain colors that apply beautifully in one, some that, you know, it takes up to 3, and the average being 2.
Yeah. I find this is more consistently a better formula. I have more, so I have 53 colors, and I would say majority of them are
of the original.
Of the original, very, very good, very pigmented formulas. So you apply always the color over a base coat slightly different. You can't put as much pressure because you're gonna pull the base coat. So you're gonna apply less pressure on the first coat of polish. You can't drag it as much as you could with this one. And now the Gel Couture. With this one in particular color, you need the second coat to be a little bit thicker to cover. Okay, so we talked about the formula of the Essie Expressie. I would say it's, 7 out of 10. Yeah, some of the pastels are not that great in the Essie Expressie. Original, I would say 9 out of 10, because they're not all like super perfect, but very, very good. And the Gel Couture,
8 out of 10.
almost 9. So I would say 8.5 out of 10. There are some colors that are not so great, but I find a lot of them are very, very good, especially the reds. There's a lot of very good colors. There are some that are not so great, but a lot of them,
like most lines,
very
you
good.
get the odd one that isn't so awesome to deal with.
Okay, so now I'm going to, look at this, this is dry. This is impressive. So I'm just going to do a second coat on this one, just to show you how it looks and how it dries. Okay, so now we are going to let these dry for about 2 minutes so we can put top coat and a second coat of the color here. Okay, so this is 2 minutes later, exactly. And this is still a little wet. So it's not a 1 minute dry.
Maybe
okay, this
the
is
first coat, if you were to make it super thin.
The first one was very thin. The second one had to be a little bit thicker in order to cover. Yeah. So this one is still a little wet. This is the most wettest one. But this one, okay, this one doesn't need a top coat. But these two do need a top coat. See how nice it's covered? So top coat, yes. This one does not need a top coat. This one, yes. And Gel Couture, yes. But we're not doing the top coat yet. But let's talk about it. So we're going to be using corresponding top coats. This is Good to Go. And this is the Gel Couture top coat.
You can see we've had this one a little while. It's a little banged up.
A little bit. So now let's talk about the no top coat polishes. Okay, can you see how this polish looks decent, but it does not look very shiny?
I think it still needs a top coat, to be honest with you.
So once it dries completely, it's going to be even less shiny. Yeah. So it's almost, I don't see a difference. They're not any more shiny. They don't need a top coat. It's just like a regular polish that you're just not putting top coat on, no?
Yeah.
So this one, I would say, is the quickest drying for sure, but it also has only 2 coats.
Yeah. It doesn't have a base coat, doesn't have a top coat, but again, I still like to put a top coat on it. It gives it that really nice shine.
Yeah, and we did try this always transparent, and it's not really a top coat. It's a nail color, clear. That doesn't make sense.
It's a color. I mean,
it's a polish. Yeah,
it's a clear. It's just a clear coat.
So it's a clear coat as a top coat, and believe it or not, we had a very good wear.
It actually did really nice.
Shockingly.
We tested it out. Yeah. Actually, I think it was with this color no less, and it did very, very well. I was very impressed.
So now this has been 5 minutes, guys. This is dry, pretty dry.
It's a little squeaky. That's squeaky.
Yeah. So squeaky we applied this one a little bit later, right? So. So I'm going to show you how this looks with the top coat, and then we can kind of compare.
Yeah.
Well, not a top coat, the clear coat.
The clear coat.
Clear, polish coat.
Clear coat.
It's quite thin, the consistency of this polish. And we didn't experience any shrinking, nothing like that, and a beautiful wear.
Yep.
This is quite wet. This is now still wet, actually. But we're gonna give it 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay, let's see how they look and how they dried. It's been 5 minutes. Okay. It's still not fully dry. But it looks like it's ready for the top coat. And let's talk about the brush. This top coat has a really, really thick brush. Not a huge fan of the brush. So I'm going to apply kind of a medium coat. It's not very thin, but it's also not very thick, because I found when it's applied too thick, it shrinks a little bit. Now this polish has only 2 coats of color and doesn't have a base coat, so it's drier, although it's still not 100% dry. And now this top coat, compared to the nail polish, has also a little wonky brush. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the brushes in the nail polishes are better in the Gel Couture line. And this also doesn't have the twirl in the bottle. So you see how it kind of has a good smell. Okay. So now we are going to give them 5 minutes to dry, and we'll see how they look. So as you can see, let's see how this one. Okay, so this one is not fully dry after the good 5 minutes. It's actually probably 6 minutes, right? Like, it still feels quite rubbery. So I find the polish dries differently depending on how many coats you're applying. So the first coat dries in, let's say, 1 minute. The first coat of polish dries 1 minute. The second coat of polish dries like 2 minutes. Third coat of polish dries 4 to 5 minutes. So it's not every minute that they're drying. So let's just kind of feel how this. Not bad, actually, but definitely not fully dry yet. This one is dry. You see? But it just does not look nice and full.
No.
It looks like 2 coats of polish without a base coat. So now I did this experiment just...
Without a top coat?
No, I did this experiment just before we started the video, because I wanted to see if the reason why these ones are drying slower is the fact that they have a base coat or top coat or both, right? So I did 2 coats of this, 2 coats of this polish, just on a bare nail with no top coat, and 2 coats of this on the bare nail without a top coat. Believe it or not, this dried very, very quickly. This one dried okay, slower, and this one, just the 2 coats of polish, dried the slowest. So it's not only the fact that it has a top coat, or this one has a base coat and top coat, but the actual polish is also has a different drying time as well, right? So we're gonna give them 5 minutes, and we'll be right back with the results of the dry time. Okay, we're back 5 minutes later, and this seems wetter.
Ooh. It's still very wet. So is that.
Yeah, that really dented. Okay, so this is better. Okay, so this is 5 minutes. This is dry. So let's just see. Let's just kind of put down, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes. So quick. This one is to be established, right? We're gonna give it another 5 minutes and we'll report back. Okay, 10 minutes later, 10-minute update. And, you know, first of all, comparing the Gel Couture to the regular Essie, this one is more shiny. Can you guys see it? So 4 coats is more shiny than 3 coats, even though it's called gel. All right, so let's see. So this one leveled out.
I'm impressed that it leveled out as well as it did, to be honest.
It's still dentable.
But it's...
Yeah.
It's getting squeaky.
Yeah, this one, it's wetter.
Yeah. By quite a bit.
Okay, so I'm going to put this as a medium. No?
Yeah.
Quick dry time is what? I would say 10 minutes plus.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And this one is going to be 15 minutes.
Plus.
Yeah. So this is going to be kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
Slower drying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see how this one is. It's okay, but it's been 15 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm. I would like to preface one thing, though. That these numbers are based off of our experience.
Yeah, of course.
And how we've applied and our conditions and things like that. You may find that your results may differ. These
Yeah.
are not definitive.
Yeah, because it
Numbers.
depends how quickly, how thick the coats are that you are applying. Depends on the humidity in the air, depends on the room temperature, it depends on your body heat as well. I had a
Yes.
client, honestly, the other day. Mind you, it was dazzle dry, but by the time I was finished the other hand, I did 3 coats, they were all dry. Like, it was unbelievable, but
Yeah.
she had a very warm hands. So it
the-
depends on even that, right?
So please bear that in mind and don't use these.
Yeah, as obviously as a
Concrete.
okay. When it comes to wear time, so we can't show you the wear time right now, but I'm going to share my experience with you. So this by itself on toes, we did 2 tests, 2 or 3 even. It lasted really, really well. We did a black, and we did we did a gray, like the dark gray ones.
And no way of
For a
purple.
pedicure, now he's wearing purple to test it.
And
They
so
lasted really, really good for 4 to 5 weeks. No problems, no chipping. On toes though.
Yeah.
On hands, I've used it on a couple clients and they found that it doesn't last very long. They had maybe 3 to 4 days. So that's my experience. With the top coat, with this as a top coat, you wore this for a week and they were fine. They were not even, they didn't have a free edge wear. So we have to test that further.
Our experience, this on toes lasts very well. On hands with a clear coat over top, it
Yeah.
does fantastic. On its own, not as well, but my personal experience, it does okay.
Yeah.
You know,
With this, I find I've used it recently on a few clients and I found that it wears well for about a week. I would say a good 6 days and then you start getting chips. And I think that's what they kind of say. It's up to a week,
yeah. So 7 days.
7 days. And this they claim up to 2 weeks. Up to is the
Up
key,
to.
right? So I really don't think it's going to look amazing for up
2
up
weeks.
to 2 weeks. I have to test it a little bit further on the same clients that I use this to see if they get a better wear with this. So I don't think that everybody is going to get the 2 weeks. It's definitely not like gel wear.
Yeah.
Gel does wear and looks different after 2 weeks,
Correct.
usually, gel polish. So that's not.
But I mean,
You
as far
can't
as the
compare it.
wearability,
Okay, so let's just wear time for this one. I would say 3 to 4 days. Oh my god. On hands. And from our experience, 4 weeks on feet. If the nails are, healthy, right? So with this, it's going to be possibly 1 week. We haven't tested it on toes yet with the top coat, but it's going to be probably more
Clear coat.
shiny, yeah, with the clear coat. This one, I would say from my experience, is up to a week.
so 7 days.
Yeah, up to 7 days. My handwriting is terrible.
You actually have very nice handwriting.
It's just
I don't think you've seen bad handwriting.
all right. And this one is going to, they say up to 2 weeks. Yeah. I would say about 10 days on average.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky. So my experience is up to 10 days.
Yeah.
Up to 10 days. Wow, this is amazing. Beautiful handwriting. But anyway, so this concludes this video. I hope it was helpful to you guys. We are hoping to do similar thing with OPI. Let us know in the comment section if you're interested in seeing comparison of the OPI Nature Strong with OPI Original and OPI Infinite Shine. And this is it for today's video.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Ciao.